Hi everyone, it's Rhema here, founder of Life on Her Terms. I hope you're well. I just wanted to give you some free training today and reflect to you 2 mistakes I see entrepreneurs making all the time. And these are new entrepreneurs, completely new to business, or they're people who've been established, 5 to 10 years. These 2 mistakes are so common. And recently I've been coaching clients. Some of them are new to business, some of them are established. They need help on different, pieces. And 2 things have come up really clearly for me. So I just wanted to give you these tips, and wherever you're at in your business, maybe you don't even have one yet, maybe you're conceptualizing, maybe you're quite new, or maybe you're down the road. I just want you to be really clear on these 2 pieces, because if you get these pieces right, can really help propel you to get the results that you want. Get them wrong, even really early on, it can cost you a lot of time and a lot of money. So in order to help you speed up to get the results that you want from your business, here they are. So here's the first one. First mistake that I see entrepreneurs making all the time. Number 1, you're talking to too many people. And by that, what I mean is, I don't mean you're talking about your business. What I mean is you're being too broad in general in your scope, in your visioning, in your languaging. And, particularly inside the coaching field, I know plenty of people like, oh, well, I'm a general life coach. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But the thing is, there are so many different coaches out there. And you need to get really clear on who your ideal client is. Now, a lot of people, they call them different things. You call them your unicorn, you call them, who your perfect client is, who do you want to serve. And what that is really trying to point you to is getting so clear in the problem this client has and the solution that you offer. And I can tell you, for example, like the first time I signed up to my coach, when I went on her sales page, I knew exactly who she was and exactly the issues that she had faced and the solution that she offered me. She spoke to me. She spoke to where I was, who I was, the problems that I had, and I wanted to work with her. And I see a lot of people really struggling in that space, but because they're too afraid to focus on one thing. But I can guarantee you, the more focused you are, whether that's, if you're a health coach, that's great. What part of health, okay? If you are a life transformational coach, who specifically do you love to work with? And so it's starting with that one person. Stop trying to fix all the people's problems. Stop trying to say, well, I can help you with this and I can help you with that, and also I can do a bit of this. The truth is, we can help people with a lot of different things, but that's not the one thing they're going to sign up for. That's not the one thing they're going to get their card out for, so to speak. So the first thing is you're talking to too many people. And so the solution for that is you think of one person and you interview this person. And maybe this is your favorite client, or maybe it's someone who you've seen and you'd love to work with. You need to find out what this person has for breakfast, what they're thinking of when they first wake up in the morning. You need to know exactly the problems and the issues and the anxiety this person faces, so that you can solve that and offer a really clear solution that meets those needs. So if you're in a service-based business, your first job before you do anything is to find out who specifically is that person that I want to serve, and you write to them. And for example, when I first started coaching and I was working obviously one-on-one with people, particularly in career transitioning, I basically wrote to me 2 years ago. That's the secret. If you don't know where to start, if you're like, I'm really not sure, I'm really new to this, well, write what you know, or communicate who you know, talk to who you know. That's you 5 years ago, maybe that's you a year ago. But what you only need to communicate what you know inside and out. So stop trying to talk to too many people with too many issues. If you are working with moms who have young kids and are stuck in this way, great, go with that. Go exactly with where they're at. It's not even about the age demographic. It's more about where they're at, what stage of life that they're at, that you can kind of help them in, and the solution that you have. So the first mistake that a lot of entrepreneurs make is talking to too many people. Don't do it, because if you're talking to everyone, you're talking to no one. So one of the ways to think about this is, when you're starting out, you have a really small platform. Think of your stage as about this big, okay? And think that you can only invite a couple of people up at the time. Obviously, the more that you scale your business, the bigger that stage gets. Who are those people who you want on that platform? What do they look like? What does their job look like? How much income do they have? How do they get to work in the mornings? Do they work? Are they married? Are they single? Do they have kids? What's their biggest goal in the next 5 years? That's what you need to know. And that languaging that you have, the languaging around that person is what draw the people you want to work with in. Because I see so many people when they first start in business, I just want to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. We all love money. I love money. But the wrong client will drain you and they will leave you broke. Okay? So you need to make sure you're attracting the right people, the people you want to work with, the people who light you up, who give you more energy. It's an exchange, not just of money, but of energy as well. So that's the first mistake. Don't talk to too many people. Get really specific on who it is you're talking to, particularly with a sales page when you have a main offering. And this isn't just service products. This is, any product that you have. I'll get into this in a second, but it's really knowing what your brand is, who you serve, and what you're all about. So that's the first mistake that I see entrepreneurs make. So just get really clear on who it is you're serving. Focus on no one else. Speak to those people. There are millions of people in the world, billions of people in the world, and they are waiting for you. So all you got to do is get really clear on who it is you serve. Don't be afraid of excluding people. Don't be afraid of, but I don't want to eliminate. No, what you're doing, if people don't know exactly who you are within about 2 minutes, they switch off. They are not going to buy from you. So that's number one. Don't talk to too many people. Get really specific. Number two, you don't know your story. And what I mean by that is, do you know how many people I ask what their elevator pitch is? And they're like, I'm a coach and I work with people and I help people do this, that, and that. And I'm already like, what do you do? If you can't communicate to a 10-year-old what you do really clearly, you're not going to be able to communicate that to your ideal client. And what I mean by that is, I love the story of Tom's. I love Tom's shoes. I don't know if you've heard of them. Look them up if you haven't. But not only to me are they a quality product, but I love the story behind it. And the story is what got them huge amounts of PR. They didn't have to spend a penny on PR when they first started their business because they had a story. Now, when people buy from you, they're not buying your product. They are buying you. I have so many people who say to me, it's not about me. I just want to offer this product and kind of sit and hide behind. You can't hide anymore, honey. Not in the world that we live in now. People want authenticity. They want to know who you are. It's becoming a very different market nowadays. And so people want to know you. They want to know your essence. They want to know, why should I buy from you? Why should I care what you have to say? It's your job to communicate that, and to communicate that in an authentic and compelling way. You don't have to be salesy when you're talking about who you are. And the biggest place I see this pitfall in is in the About Me page. So on your About Me page, for instance, a lot of people just kind of put their professional bio, and that's not really going to get me in. I'm just saying, and I know this from clients who I've worked with who've come to me and said, when I read your story, I just related to it so much. And my story, if you don't know it, I worked in PR for nearly 15 years before I started my own business. I've worked in media. I've worked as a journalist. I know what makes a good story. I know how to tell a story in a compelling way. It was my job to do that, okay? And I did that for the BBC. I worked in Sydney at the ABC. I've worked with news outlets all over the world. Telling a story is part of what I do. It comes very naturally to me. And I knew when I started my business that I had to use those same techniques and tools to communicate to my ideal client. Because here's the thing, people aren't buying your service, they're buying your story. And that's what Tom's got so well. Even with Apple, they've got a story. Any brand that you love has a story, and you really identify with it, whether or not you recognize that. And that's the reason that I will pay nearly double the price for a pair of Tom's than I would for a knockoff somewhere else. Because I love the fact that there's giving involved in that if I buy a pair of shoes, someone else gets a pair of shoes. And I would really encourage you to look up that Tom story if you're in any way involved in service or selling, because the way that they've kind of built their community and built their following is by sharing a story. So if you don't know your own story, and I have plenty of entrepreneurs who go, I don't really have a story. I call BS on that. You do have a story. It just means you don't know it yet. And if you don't know it, your clients are going to know it. And your story, by the way, is, you can call it your brand, you can call it whatever you want, is how people talk about you when you're not in the room. So, how would you talk about Apple, Coca-Cola, these things that we just kind of use on a daily basis, or, whatever it is you want to call it. How do you talk about your favorite brand? Your job is to figure out not just how people talk about you, but how you want them to talk about you. What is the moment? And I know everyone has one. People say they don't, they go, I just started my business, because you have a mission. Your job is to get clear on what that mission is and communicate that very clearly to your client. And if your About Me page doesn't do that, it's going to be really hard for you to get people in. So some of the hardest things for people to do, particularly in the coaching industry, is to get people on the call with them. Well, if you don't have your story, your offer really, really clear, and it communicates really clearly to your ideal client, you're not going to get people as easily on the phone. It may come through referrals, which is great, but in this online space, you've got so many opportunities there. So if you don't know your story, chances are your clients aren't going to know your story, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to get those ideal clients paying for you and to excitedly sign up for you. Now, you started a business because you have something really awesome to share in the world. God has put something, has given you a gift, has put something on your heart, and it's your job to get that out there. And so your first job as a business owner is your marketing. It's not second, it is your first job. Before you invest in anything like that, you need to know clearly what your story is and who you're talking to. So if you're not 1,000% lit up by your main sales page or even your About Me page, we need to talk. I have spent 15 years working in PR, writing compelling news headlines, writing stories for people. I've written for newspapers. I've worked with some of the biggest news outlets in the world. I know what makes a good story. And right now, I'm offering you a chance to work with me one-on-one in a 3-hour copywriting intensive where I will interview you using my journalistic skills and find out what the essence is of you. I will either write your About Me page or your sales page, whichever one it is that you need to overhaul and really get to the next level so that you're talking to the right people, you're connecting, because that's what people want nowadays. They want to see what you offer, they want it straight away, and they want to know that it speaks to them. So if any of your copy doesn't feel as authentic and as awesome as you are, then you might want to look at my copywriting intensive. So in a 3-hour intensive, you and I work one-on-one virtually. I interview you, I find out everything that there is to know about you, and using the skills that I have built over a 15-year career working in television for news outlets, working with some of the biggest names in the industry, I will craft your narrative, and that's either in a sales page that you have or in an About Me page. And so after that, you will get delivered to you bespoke copy that is unique, that speaks to your client's pain points, that also highlights the essence of you and what you offer. Now, if that's of interest to you, if you are sick and tired of feeling struggle in this area, and if you're a little bit nervous about directing people to your sales page, or you don't feel like your About Me page fully represents who you are, we need to talk. Send me a message. I would love to work with you. I have a few spots open this month for this. I only take a handful of clients working one-on-one because it is a lot of work, but it's something that I'm really passionate about. If you've got a really good product, if you've got an incredible service, but you're not communicating it as authentically as you could, or as powerfully or masterfully as you could, that's where I come in, and I can help you do that. So send me a message and let's start talking, and let's start talking to your clients so that you can start connecting to your clients, get your message out there, and be of service, because that's what it's all about. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and if you have any questions, let me know. Obviously, you can like my business page, which is Life on Her Terms. You can join my Facebook group, Life on Her Terms, and I can happy to answer any questions you have. Just send me a message and let's talk. Much love. Bye.